Hey coaches, this video we're going to go over our beast formation. I'm going to give you a formation overview. We're going to go over our blast, sweep, and isolation play. Our ISO. We'll probably do 2 or 3 series here. You can see we have a lot of plays. We'll do each video series will be 3 plays at a time. Otherwise, it will just get too long. We're going to go over the core plays here. Again, it's beast, sweep, and ISO. I'm sorry, blast, sweep, and ISO. But let's go over the formation. I kind of want to go over, alignment, line splits, player placement, things like that. So beast formation. Okay, here's our beast right. Tells our 2, 3, and 4 they're lined up to the right. If we go beast left, it tells our 2, 3, and 4 the line up to the left. Very simple. This formation features a balanced line. Okay, the backfield is unbalanced. The offensive line is balanced. So we got a nice strong 3-man surface to each side. So it really forces the defense to have to defend both sides of the formation. As you'll see in the next series, we do have a lot of plays that go away from the B side, whether we hand to a wing or we hand to the 2. Now our line splits. It's 2-foot splits across the board here for our line. You can go 1-foot splits. You can go 0-foot splits. Why we go 2-foot splits is because it spreads the defense out enough to create some natural running lanes inside for us, give us some good angles on our down blocking, and just room for our backs to navigate. Whereas if you're 1-foot or foot to foot, you're gonna if you compress your formation, your splits down, the defense is gonna compress their, they're gonna compress down too, and just really just run into a wall. So that's why I like 2-foot splits, because it's 2-foot splits is great because it's not too wide either. You don't want to go so wide that these defenders are shooting gaps on you, because then it's hard to really close the distance and down block if you're so wide and they're really hell bent on shooting gaps. So I think 2-foot splits isn't too wide, but it's not too compressed either. So I think they're perfect. That's what we do. Again, you could very, very well run this with 1-foot, no splits, whatever works for you guys. Now, our alignment for our wing back and our blocking back. If it's sweep, we will cheat out a little bit because that will give this kid a better angle to seal the contain player. And it gives this kid a better angle and allows him to be a little wider so he could arc and kind of seal this kid. All right, if it's power, you'll see we'll compress the, I'm sorry, if it's blast, we'll compress these kids in. That'll give them a nice kick out angle. All right, so will teams notice that they cheat in a foot or two? Probably not, honestly. No one really has for us. And if they do, fine. Go 2-foot, go a little wider with your split, a foot or two, and then they'll think it's sweeping. You just run inside anyway, and they'll take themselves out of the play by lining up too wide. So teams won't notice it, and don't worry about, or don't be scared that they'll notice, and it'll give it away. Don't even worry about all that. All right, so we go over player placement. 2 guards are our most athletic kids. Center's obviously a kid that could handle pressure, snap the ball. Our right tackle, our left tackle, they're our 2 best kids, our best down blockers. They're gonna be asked to do a lot of down blocking. They're gonna ask to do some base blocking, some double team block. So our 2 best linemen are our right and our left tackle, and 2 tight ends. Now, ideally, if you have a kid if you have 2 true tight ends that are good, that could run, catch, block, great. If not, say you only have 1 true tight end type, put in another guard here, or put in, if you got an extra tackle, put them here. It really doesn't matter. There are passes out of this, and you'll see in another series. There are passes out of this, but at the end of the day, you're going to run the football here, right? We line up in this formation. Our mindset is to really just run it down the defense's throat. I think we threw 2 times all year, or no, this past season, 1 time. We saved it for the playoffs out of this formation. We come out in this formation, we tell the defense we're going to run it down their throat, and there's really nothing they can do about it. So, if you have if you have kids that are better blockers or more physical than your current tight end or tight ends, put them there. All right. So, also 1 and 2, those are your 2 best backs. The 2 kids that carry the ball the most will play these positions. Your best kid will be, obviously you'll be favored. If especially if you have 1 dominant back, you want to feature him in this, do that. But the next best kid, or if you have 2 great backs, then beautiful. But you could showcase or really feature your best player, direct snap to him and let him go. But if you have a two that's capable, you could switch them. So it's however you want to do it. For us, we switch this. Our best running back will get the ball more out of this. But if we have a capable kid here, we'll switch them or we'll just hand back to him coming the other way, which you'll see our buck play out of this in another series. So that's just basic player alignments, formation overview, and let's get into the blast play. All right, coaches, let's go through the blast play diagrams. I'm going to show you the blast versus odd defenses and blast versus even. Odd here. Odd basically means the center's covered. So it's like a 5-3 defense we're facing here. So now we'll go over the blocking rules. As I said in the formation overview before, you could see we are cheating our splits in a little bit to give ourselves better angles. So that's what I was talking about. But I'll go over the blocking rules. We'll start with the backside, go through that fast. Our backside guards can block inside over free. No one on his inside, no one over. He's free to get a linebacker. If you can't cut this kid off, don't chase him, work back. Our left tackle, inside over free. He's got an over defender. He's going to step play side base this kid. Now you could do a couple things with this tight end. We just step play side and block back. That's usually what we do with this kid. But you could have him climb to this kid, or if you can't get him, have the tight end try to go right to that safety because this kid really isn't going to make the play. So most coaches will probably have him work to safety. We just have him base back because we do run a play where he bases out. But at the same time, you can have him go get that safety. Play side blocking rules for our center. Well, I'll go right guard first. Inside over free, just like these three guys. No one inside, no one over. He's free. If you can't cut off the mic, work back. Don't chase. Center is going to step play side. He's going to base the nose. Our right tackle and tight end, they're double teaming the play side D tackle. He might be down a little bit here. He might be here. But he is doubling the defensive tack. The right tackle, tight end are doubling the D tackle. Now, if you want, here's a coaching tip. You could cut this tight end split down to 1 foot. What that'll do is that'll give less distance he has from the right tackle. And what that means is when you get on the double team, you really want to kind of get hip to hip and drive this kid, right? Link up and just drive this kid. So when you go 2 foot splits, sometimes that tight end is a little late with locking up the double team. So when you go 1 foot splits, they can engage that double team faster. Don't give this D tackle time to kind of generate force to really get off the ball. So you could lock in that double team faster, and then it's less likely this kid will be able to split it. All right, so they're going to double drive this kid. Another coaching point is if this kid really fights through the outside, just take him that way. Obviously, we want to get him washed down or driven back here, but that's not always the case. Sometimes he'll fight through it, especially there's no counteraction or anything or getting the snapper running this way. So a lot of times he may try to slice through the C gap. And if he beats you, you can't get him washed down. Just take him whatever way he wants to go. Just stay on the double team, drive him whatever way he wants to go if you can't drive him down. Now, our 4-back, he's going to cheat a split in. His aiming point is that inside hip of this defensive end. We are always going to kick out the contained player here. All right, and against the even front, I'll show you what I mean. But here's a stand-up DN that's taught the box, so it should be an easy kick-out block, especially when they're going to know you run sweep out of this. So should be an easy kick-out block. Our 3 is going to insert. He's going to try to get this middle linebacker, okay? So you basically want his eyes on the middle backer. He's going to insert here and go through. And our 2-back is going to pretty much ISO this kid. Now, if you want, you could have this 3 block him and have the 2 block the mic. Okay, a lot of people prefer that. We just always did it like this. Sometimes this kid shows up in blitzes. Okay, so then it's probably better to have your 3 take him. But we've ran it both ways. We would just have a switch call for this. But that's how we do it. But you very well could have him insert here and then have him take the mic. If the mic's cut off or blitzes inside, takes himself out of play, or he gets cut off by one of our free linemen, just keep working up. Don't stop in the hole. All right, so we're going to catch the ball. catch the snap, and we're going to go. Our aiming point is the inside foot of the tight end, okay, where he is lined up pre-snap. Catch the ball, that's where we want to go. We want to cut right off the two-backs block. Okay, so when he blocks that linebacker, you cut right off of it. All right, so that's how we block our blast against the even front. I'm going to go over game film after. I do have a couple clips for you guys. So let's go blast against an odd defense. Even defense, which is basically the guards are covered or double A gap defenders. All right, so now backside is always blocking inside over free. No one inside. Oh, he's got a guy inside, but he's blocking inside over free. So he's got a guy inside. He's stepping down. We're basing him. If this kid is really slicing down, you could just have the right tackle base him and have him climb here. It really depends on the front or how, excuse me, how you want to block it. So you could very well just have this right tackle just turn back instead of going free. Have him block inside over and just block back at the defensive end. It's really up to you. Right guard is going to go inside over free, but we know when it's double A gaps, our center is blocking the backside A gap defender. So we don't need to touch him. We need to just climb for linebacker. If we can't cut off this middle backer, we work back. Now, if he blocks him and you get a natural double team on this kid, fine. Because this play, you never know. It could cut back all the way inside. But, you don't have to waste two blockers on one kid. But if your right guard blocks him, it's not a bad play. Our center is always responsible for blocking backside A-gap defender. So backside A-gap defender means the A-gap defender away from the play. So play's going left, so we're blocking here. Our left guard is blocking inside over free. No one inside. He's got a half over shade. We're going to step play side base. Our left tackle and tight end, we are going to double team this defensive end. All right, so if you want the tight end to cheat a split down to 1 foot so they can engage that double team faster and stronger, go for it. Now our 4 is going to kick out the contain player. Okay, I said before that we're not kicking out the DN, we're kicking out the contain player, which in this case is an outside linebacker. If it was a 6-2, both these kids will be up on the ball. And it's the same thing, nothing changes. We would kick him out. 4-4, 6-2. Obviously, the only difference is the personnel grouping, right? It's 6 D linemen, 2 linebackers, whereas a 4-4 has 4 D linemen and 4 linebackers. But essentially, we're going to block it the same way from a schematic standpoint. Quarterback's going to kick out the contain player, inside hip aiming point. R3, he's going to arc for this backer. This backer blitzes here. We have to see that and pick that up. So our eyes are on that first, the inside linebacker to the play side. So if he cheats up here, you couldn't kill the double team. You could say kill, 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 and just that means all these kids will block inside over free. Or you could just have him take him. All right, so his eyes need to be on that inside middle linebacker. 3 is going to insert through the hole. If no linebacker shows, we keep climbing. The two back's going to insert, lead through the hole. No one shows, climb. We're going to direct snap to our best running back. His aiming point is the inside foot of the tight end. Boom, he's going to hit the hole. He's going to, cut off the block of the 2. Basically, just follow the 2 back and cut off his block. Get behind the 2 back. All right, so that's blast, guys. Let's go over some game film. All right, guys, here's our sweep play out of our beast right formation, going against an odd front here, so 5-3. Our linemen are all blocking inside over free across the board. Backside's blocking inside over free. Front side's pretty much blocking inside over free. You could have them all step, play side, and reach, like most sweep blocking schemes, but to keep things simple, we just block inside over free across the board. So, it keeps things simple for our kids. We run blast, it's inside over free. We run sweep, inside over free. We run ISO, it's pretty much inside over free, particularly for the backside. So our 4 back is going to cheat his split out a little bit. Okay, he is going to seal the defensive end. So what we want to do is we want to take an outside leverage step, win that leverage with the first step, close the distance, Aiming point is the outside shoulder of the defensive end. The contained player is who he's sealing. And against the nod defense here, against a 5-3, it's going to be this DN. So he's going to take a leverage step. He's going to close the distance, engage physically, flip his hips, and wall off the outside. And then obviously want him to run his feet. If this is our sidelines, we need to see the back of this kid's jersey, okay? The name on the back of his jersey. So we need to be completely walled off here, and we cannot get beat through our upfield shoulder. R3 is going to arc for this outside linebacker. Now, against this defense, it's fine if this kid blitzes because our tight end will block inside over, and he'll take this kid. So the linebacker is just going to go to him. But R3 is responsible for this outside linebacker. A lot of times he's going to either take a downhill path here or he's going to kind of belly wide. So R3 is going to arc. He is blocking this outside linebacker. If he blitzes, okay, the tight end should be able to take him, but he's responsible for the 3. So he's going to arc for the 3. He's going to aim for that outside shoulder and really try to get him reached or logged, whatever you want to call it. Our 2 back is going to lead block, and he's going to block the corner. Why we like to block the corner last is because if our 3 goes to block him, he's way ahead of our ball carrier. So this corner is just going to go around that block, and by the time the ball carrier gets there, this corner can make a tackle. He's going to go around the block and still have time to tackle this kid. Whereas if the 2 back takes him, this back, the direct snap player, is right behind the 2. So we're right behind the 2 back. Whatever way the corner wants to go, we take him there, we cut off it, and we go score. So we don't want to block the corner too early because we all know their corners are going to be good athletes and they're going to be tough to block in space. So we really just want our 2 to block him, and then the back will cut right off that block instantly. So our aiming point for the 2 back is the outside shoulder of this cornerback. All right. Side back, I want to go over backside tight end. I said inside over free. You could have him climb the safety, or you could just have him block inside over free. A lot of times we just block base. We just like to block back on the DN, but most teams and most coaches probably tell you just have him climb to go get the safety because really anyone from here back is useless. Like you don't even need to block them. They're really no threat. So you can have the tight end just climb to the safety, or you could just keep things simple and say you're blocking inside over free no matter what. It's up to you. All right, so that's beast sweep versus the odd formation. Let's see beast left sweep versus even. So let me just fix this. This was drawn up wrong for some reason. There we go. All right, now even defense, guys, tells us that our center is blocking the backside A-gap defender. Even defense, they got both guards covered. You got 2 A-gap defenders, even defense. 4-4, if this was a 6-2, let's pretend these are defensive linemen, not linebackers. If these were if this was a 6-2, they would be on the line of scrimmage. The rules don't change. 6-2, 4-4, it really doesn't matter. Personnel grouping. Let's make this a jack linebacker, not a safety. So now it's a true 4-4, 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers. And I don't have a blocking responsibility for our 3, who's going to arc. He's blocking his hand. All right, guys. Inside over free across the board here. Right tackle, no one inside, no one over. Free. Can't get the backer. Work back to someone else. No one over. No one inside, no one over. He's free. Try to cut off this mic. If he can't get there, work back. Don't chase. If you have him block this tackle, it'll kind of be a natural double team, which is fine too. Doesn't matter because it's very unlikely this guard gets to this middle linebacker anyway. So you could have the right guard just double team here, and that'll eliminate any interior pressure. 4 back. On sweep, we are sealing the contained player. Could be an outside linebacker, could be a defensive end. It really depends on the defense, okay? So in the 4-4, this outside linebacker here, we're going to arc. Our aiming point is that outside shoulder. We're still going to take our first step, needs to win us that leverage. We're going to close the distance. Okay, aiming point outside shoulder, engage, flip our hips. If this is our sidelines, we should see the back of our kid's jersey. And then obviously once we win the leverage, close the distance physically, flip our hips and seal the outside, we want to run our feet. 3's going to arc for this kid. 2's going to block the corner. We're going to catch the ball, and we're going to go. Sorry, guys. I haven't went in the beast formation playbook in this play editor in a while. So I apologize. I got some of these guys mislabeled and not even doing anything. But hey guys, here's a look at our ISO play against the 5-3. So we got an odd front here. Now, we don't have a particular hole where ISO hits. It really depends on the defense. You know, we don't have a set aiming point. If it's a 5-3, it usually hits more inside. If it's an even defense like a 4-4 or 6-2, it usually hits a little bit wider. So one kind of hits about the B gap, the other one hits kind of in the A. So you have to make sure your kids understand that. You want to run ISO where there are gaps. You know, you could see there's gaps, good gap between the nose and the tackle, so we want to run there. And you'll see on the even front where we want to attack the gap. So now, if you don't want the kids to determine that on their own, you could tell them. You could say alpha or beta. Alpha says A gap ISO, you're isolating the middle linebacker. If it's a 4-4, 6-2, you can say beta. That means you're ISOing the inside backer over the B gap. So that'll be a B gap ISO. So it'll be a little bit wide. Okay, so this will be an alpha look for us. So now we got an odd front, center's covered. Now our blocking rules for the backside is inside over free. Okay, very simple. Our center and right guard. So this would be beast right ISO. It could be beast right alpha, beast right beta, whatever you want to do. All right, so now this would be A gap ISO. So center's covered. So our right guard and center will double team. Okay, we're not going to combo off and work back. You can if you want, but we are going to stay on that double team because we have to get this kid moved. So center's going to snap the ball back. He's going to step. He's going to block. Our right guard's going to block down. He's going to engage with the center, and they're going to drive. And as I said with the blast, you can have this right guard go to 1 foot split so he can engage in that. He could lock in that double team sooner, right? He doesn't have to go, you know, there's not too much separation. So they can engage and lock up that double team sooner and faster, and that nose won't be able to split it. You know, it'll be a lot less likely, and then you could really get this kid moved. Because, you know, a double team's going to fail when the two linemen aren't really engaged in it, right? So I think cutting the split down is a good idea, and it's definitely something we do. So right guard, center, going to double this kid, get this kid moved, drive this kid down, drive him up, wherever he wants to go, just take him. Our right tackle is going to step to the play hole and base out the tackle. Okay, we cannot get beat through our inside shoulder. We need to take that step down and base. So the play's coming inside. Our back should be to the sidelines. All right, so we need to wall off and protect the hole. Step play side, base, flip our hips, run our feet. Our 3 is going to insert for this backer. Our four is going to arc for the corner or even the outside linebacker. We just want to arc to influence, and maybe that'll hold some of these kids because that'll look like sweep. All right, so he's going to insert here. We're going to arc, so it kind of adds a little bit of a key breaker if someone's watching the wing and you could see we cheated our split out on this, and then we ran ISO inside. So, like I said earlier, that if the defense notices it, fine. Just line up wider and run ISO. Because it looks like we're going to run sweep here, right? We always cheat our 4 out a little bit. So do that, and that'll probably hold a lot of these kids, and they can't insert themselves on the play. All right, so 2's going to ISO the middle linebacker here. So he's going to insert. We're going to go right for the middle linebacker. Whatever way this linebacker decides to go, that's where the 2's going to take him. All right, we want to run somewhat under control. We obviously want a physical block. We want to engage the block and run our feet. But, you know, it's likely this middle linebacker is going to fill this, okay, because he's got pretty much a clear read, and the direct snap's coming right at him. It's clear. He's going to get downhill, and he's probably not going to shock and shed like he should. He's probably going to shock, maybe come off the block this way, or maybe come off the block this way. Most kids will probably just try to rip under or swim around the block, but if this kid comes off the block this way, we cut here. He cuts off the block. He comes off the block this way, we cut back. So make sure your direct snap player is cutting off the isolation block. All right, so that's ISO versus 5-3. Love the ISO versus 5-3. Here's ISO versus even front 4-4. I like the ISO better against a 5-3. I think it's a little more tough. It's a little more difficult to run against 4-4 or even a 6-2. But you want to run at gaps, right? So if we want to run ISO at the A gap, we call it alpha, B gap, B beta. And then if we want to run at C gap, it'll be Charlie. All right, so have this kid cheat and split down a little bit here. Let's just draw this up a little bit better for you guys. It's going to block down here, step, engage here. All right, so against a 4-4, again, tougher look to run ISO against, in my opinion. I mean, you could tell in the diagrams, right? But this is going to be a C-gap ISO for us. Now, R3 is going to be the ISO player on this. However, you could still make it your 2, but in this case, against a 4-4, R3 is going to be the ISO player, so he's going to isolate. We're isolating this kid. He's going to block him. We're going to get a double team with our tight end and left tackle. Okay, the Charlie call will tell our tight end and left tackle this is going to be a C-gap run, so we need to double the C-gap defender. Okay, very simple. Right guard, left guard's going to block inside over free. So he's got no one inside, but he's got a guy over. So what we want to do is step play side and base this kid. Center's going to block backside A-gap defender. You could have him stay on this tackle, or you could have him work to the other linebacker. Inside over free, Catch the ball. 3 is going to be the ISO player. 2 is going to lead block. Anyone shows, that's who he takes. Okay, first defender inside or in front of him. Maybe the safety rolls down. Okay, or someone scrapes over the top late. That's who our 2 is going to take. Our 4 is going to base out this outside linebacker. Aiming point is the inside hip. We kind of want to block him like it's a kick out, like what we would do on blast. All right, so that's the ISO versus the 4-4. Again, tougher look. We tell our kids if we want A-gap ISO or B-gap ISO, it's alpha beta. 2 back will isolate the middle linebacker. Okay, we like that against the 5-3. If they hear Charlie, that's our C-gap ISO. Our 3 is going to isolate the inside backer, or our 2 is going to lead block. So it's a lot there, but we were able to do it. I've done this with kids as young as 5th grade, so pretty sure you guys could do it too. All right, let's watch some game film.